Have you ever found that your productivity is falling behind, but you're constantly having to invest your efforts into others and their needs? Or maybe you find yourself with the feeling that you're doing so much, but really accomplishing nothing at all that needs to be done? Welcome to Dev Life Crisis. My name is Mike Ludwikowski, though many in the tech world simply know me as Ski. I'm a U.S. Navy veteran, a business manager, a people manager, and a computer science graduate that focuses on cybersecurity. My technology career has gone from being a grunt to the architect. I've pulled cables, I've run wire, and I'm now architecting and designing and mentoring. And here I am to share my experiences and my thoughts to help evaluate and help you take control of your situations and reach your full potential. My journey began with early exposure to the computers, working with Tandy and IBM systems. I learned the foundations of technology, and after that, spent time in the Navy, where I learned to adapt, persevere, and work as a cohesive team. All skills that have fueled my success ever since. I've worn many hats in life. As a business manager, I focused on streamlining processes and improving efficiencies. I was able to raise net profits of my quick service restaurant territory by millions of dollars in just over 2 years. The lessons carried over into the IT service desks, where I led high-profile clients such as City of Chicago, Texas Workforce Commission, United Launch Alliance, Moet Hennessy, and other high-profile departments in the federal government. It's been a challenging and rewarding road, and I wouldn't have it any other way. Well, when I'm not working with tech, you can catch me and my wife and my family on our older YouTube channel, Polish Chow Chow Fishing. But back to the tech. Throughout my career, mentoring has been a cornerstone of my work. I've had the honor of coaching hundreds of managers, leading them and teaching them techniques that empower them to take control of their perspectives and become the leaders in their own right. My approach to leadership is rooted in the belief that great leaders inspire others, not just through words, but through action and care. Steel sharpens steel. Success in any field comes down to 3 principles. The 3 that I guide myself every step of the way. Number 1, be brilliant at the basics. Mastering the fundamentals of any obstacles in front of you lays the foundation for greatness. Live like no one else, so one day you can live and be like no one else. Work hard, stay unique, and your efforts will pay off. And 3, be sure of what you know and know that none of us are as smart as all of us. Confidence in your knowledge and collaborating with others are the keys to unlocking potential. Dev Life Crisis is more than a place to learn tech. It's about building connections, sharing knowledge, and inspiring others to push boundaries. If you're here to tackle challenges, refine your skills, or set your career on a new trajectory, you've come to the right place. And remember, everything is make-believe, except the real stuff. You just have to determine what that real stuff is.
Crisis, where chaos meets code, and we say what everyone else in tech is thinking but won't say out loud. No fluff, no filters, just real talk about surviving the grind, one crisis at a time.
And welcome back to Dev Life Crisis, the podcast where we cut through the noise of our careers and personal growth. Today we're going to tackle a challenge that many of us face, a toxic work environment. In the next few minutes, we'll uncover a toxic work environment, what it looks like, how to spot it, the red flags, and explore more ways to steer clear. Plus, we'll discuss an actionable step to overcome a toxic work environment if you're already there. Let's dive in. How do you identify toxicity? Well, imagine logging into a workspace where negativity hangs in the air, a place where micromanagement replaces trust and criticism stifles collaboration. In a toxic work environment, errors are met with punitive measures rather than opportunities for growth, and communication often degrades into blaming others. Coworkers seem perpetually stressed. There's always too much to do and never enough time to do it. If any of that resonates with you, you might be dealing with an off-balance workplace culture. And then toxicity can sometimes be just subtle. Either favoritism, cliques, private gossip groups, and there are more red flags to look for, like gaslighting, where someone could manipulate a situation to make you even doubt your own experiences or perception. Constant overwork without recognition, when the employee is pushed beyond the reasonable limits but barely and rarely acknowledged. The blame culture, rather than learning from mistakes, the focus is on scapegoating, pointing fingers, and dismissal of or lack of ownership of the issues. There's sabotage, undermining, lack of psychological safety, where you're not even allowed to offer a concern or an idea for fear of retaliation. There's extreme micromanagement, where your leadership can control every detail and stifle your autonomy. Do you have too many meetings in a day? There's favoritism, nepotism, unchecked gossips and cliques and rumors and social exclusions. And then there's toxic positivity. If someone's positively toxic, they're going to dismiss the problems with hollow optimism rather than solve. Remember, hope is not a strategy. But how do you recognize those signs? How do you seek a healthier environment? Well, prevention is key, number one. An ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. And I'm specifically going to speak to you as a person now, because it's you that matters. You need to establish boundaries, define what behavior you will and will not tolerate, and draw the line in the sand. Don't let people cross that line without you taking action. If you don't have a plan of action and have never thought about these situations before, do it. Pre-game. Think about what if, then what will I do? And hold yourself to that. Document everything. Keep clear records of incidents in either a notebook or a digital log. But if you do that, you won't have to remember anything, and you won't be you and your memories versus someone or situation. It will be clear and defined, and you won't have the anxiety of wondering if you remembered it all. Lean on a support network, a spouse, a best friend, a coworker, a peer, a significant other, someone that knows you outside of work to remind you of why you even work in the first place. Now, I'm not going to tell you that every job doesn't come with stress. Of course it will. But you need to be able to practice stress management. Try meditation. Physical exercise is a great way to deliver fresh oxygen and fresh ideas. And make sure that you take frequent breaks. Oftentimes we get what's called tunnel vision if you're so focused on a task. It's hard to see the big picture. Take a break. Walk around. Go outside. Talk to someone else. Listen to a motivational speech. Watch a TED Talk. Something to stimulate your brain other than what you've been doing. Some people take an hour. Some people take an hour and a half. But at some point, you are going to mentally fatigue. Identify that time frame and take a break. Walk around. Stimulate your brain. Stimulate your blood flow. Get something different going on in your brain. And then you can return to work fresh and ready to move forward. You'll find it much more efficient, effective, and you'll be done with your work a little bit sooner by taking more breaks. But like we said, when you've done all that you can to be friendly, courteous, kind, helpful, and you have not had it reciprocated, or maybe it only goes so far and management is not meeting the obligation to you as an individual, the employee, or the employee pool at large, then it's likely that you've identified that your workplace is toxic. It's important to remember that toxicity in the workplace is a reflection of a flawed system, not your value as a professional, And your workspace should ignite your passion and nurture your ambition and not drain your energy. Thank you for joining me on this episode. If these insights resonate with you, share this episode with a friend and feel free to reach out with your own stories and questions. Our community is here to learn, support, and grow together. Until next time, stay resilient, keep pushing forward, and embrace every opportunity to thrive. Remember, it's all make-believe except the real stuff.